Have you ever found yourself extending ultimatums instead of invitations?
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
We are delighted that we've been able to create for you free access to over 703 Life's Inside Track episodes, where we share insider tips, making house home, building wealth wisely through real estate, and you can get access to them from anywhere, including our Dekker Team YouTube channel. Fascinating. This whole concept of ultimatums or invitations. And when I used to extend ultimatums, I don't know that I thought I was extending an ultimatum.
It's a strong word.
It is, but there really wasn't much room for someone to say no, thank you. You're coming Saturday, right? There's not a lot of wiggle room.
Mm-hmm.
And what I learned is it isn't even just the words, because if I said, you're coming Saturday, right? Now it sounded like a question. Now it didn't feel necessarily like an ultimatum. So even just changing my tone shifted how the delivery landed.
Interesting. We find that people like choices. They like to be able to say yes, no, or maybe.
Or maybe later.
Or maybe later, right? They like to be able to choose between 2 or 3 things. And we found that with the kids and the grandkids is sometimes it was easier to say, would you like the broccoli or would you like the carrots? It wasn't an ultimatum. You're eating broccoli or you're eating carrots or you're eating both. It was, and sometimes it was, would you like 4 slices of cucumber or 5 slices of cucumber? It still gave them a choice, but a little bit different when you're parenting than when you're in an adult relationship, right? And the interesting thing is that the Journal of Consumer Research found that people were 80%, I'm saying 80%, more likely to accept an offer or an invitation when they felt they were free to say no.
Which blows my mind, and yet I've experienced it. If I feel like my only option is to say yes, I'm more inclined to say no, even though there's no good reason for me to say no. Have you ever found that? Like, have you ever found that just by how somebody poises a question, or maybe you can reflect into your own life when you've extended an invitation that really wasn't an invitation? Well, it was an invitation to say yes. It didn't give room really for the person to say no, that you got a lot more no's.
Yeah, that would be like a family reunion, where the matriarch or the patriarch of the family might be saying, you must come, you got to be there. It's very important to the family. Fewer people will show up than if they posed it like, it would be great to have you
We'd
there if you can make it.
Yeah.
Love to connect with you, and it gives you opportunity to connect with the rest of the family. If you can't make it, that's okay. Hopefully everybody's still around next year. Something like that.
Yeah, but I think
got to be careful with that.
Yeah.
That could be a guilt trip, couldn't it?
Yeah, like as soon as you said in the last segment, you said, "Oh, you're not so good at the back end."
That was a good back end.
That was a back end. You did 2 of them there.
Really, 2?
Yeah, I thought there was 2. So if you're saying, "I don't know what you're talking about yet," I go back and watch segment A, and then listen, rewind this little piece, especially if you're watching on the YouTube channel or on any of the podcast stations and platforms, and just hear what you think the back end or backhand, we might call it, comment that you just say, kind of like an afterthought that, depending on who you are, will sound a little bit like the guilt trip that you were talking about. I think you might have been talking about yourself. You do it so naturally, you don't even notice.
Yeah.
From time to time. So all tongue in cheek, we are inviting you to the Building Wealth Wisely workshop October 8th, 6 to 9. And when you're extending the invitation to your youth that get to come for free, and that could be a youth in your neighborhood, a youth that lives at home, a youth that you met at youth group, a youth that you picked up off the street, but check with the parents first.
Careful with that one,
Careful with that one. If you pressure them or put some pressure, chances are they're 80% more likely to say no, thank you. If you make it a little easier, still give some facts, just don't give so much pressure and reasons and persuasion. You can let them know what they're going to learn, that one of the things they'll learn is a strategy that will give them opportunity, if they apply the strategy, this one strategy, to never really have money worries as they become adults.
For retirement.
Yeah, or at any point.
Yeah. And I think it's okay when you're talking youth to add a little bribe. You
gotta be careful.
No, listen for a second. Can I explain? Like, I would have no problem saying, hey, why don't we have a father-son date or a mother-daughter date or a mother-son date? We're going to go, we'll grab a bite to eat. We'll go to the thing at 6 o'clock. It runs till 9. We'll grab Dairy Queen on the way home or something, like that kind of thing. It's like sandwiching something that they may not really want to do in their limited belief structure and making it a package.
Right. So that's a little different. So I'm going to give you that the be done well. But again, watch the tone. Mm-hmm. Depending on the tone, it still needs to be invitational and not persuasive and not controlling. Because here's what we've learned. When somebody's forced or feels like they have no option, or they're pushed to be in a room, or they're coerced to be in a room, or they're cajoled to be in a room or read a book or whatever, they don't really get anything out of it anyway. So the state of mind, they don't have fun at the party that they end up going to if they really felt like they had no option.
Yeah, absolutely. And, maybe you want your kids to read a book. We wanted our kids to read certain books. Mm-hmm. And maybe you want your spouse to read a certain book. Like, they just show up on my nightstand sometimes. Oh, where'd this book come from? Oh, it might be a good read for you. Now, if you're a wife that does that kind of thing, maybe put some bonus material in it. That's what we did for our kids. We'd tape a $20 bill in the front of a book, little, legal bribe, and say, when you do that, after you give a little report on what the book said, you can pull the 20 out and you can go do whatever you want with it.
Right. And really, a report was more, what are you going to do as a result of reading the book? Mm-hmm. Right? What will you apply? Because I wasn't so concerned about a book report. It wasn't meant to feel like school or difficult. It was meant to be what good comes out of the book that could actually be of assistance or value to you as you're living life.
Right. And as, that's a little more friendly pressure on an invitation to say read a book, right? You could just make the invite and say you can read it now, later, or not at all. It's your choice. I found I got this value out of it. Mm-hmm. That could be a thing. So let's get back to the options, right? It's respectful invitations that work best when paired with boundaries that protect both you and the relationship. And we're going to talk about that in the next segment. And we're glad that you're joining us for clarity, because when your options are clear, your wisdom will flow.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward